Hi, and welcome to the PITA JOE Podcast. This first episode is going to be a short introduction of me, my family, and the struggle of keeping it all together. This first episode is probably going to be all over the place. I don't really have a direction for this one because I'm learning as I go. I'm also using my beat-up iPhone to record it, so the sound isn't going to be amazing, so just expect that. But I know as I keep this going, I will get better equipment and the sound will improve and just the quality of everything will improve. So in the great words of Mr. Heath Ledger, and here we go. So this podcast, I want to explain it a little bit, the direction I want to go with it. Basically, I want to touch on almost every subject from home life to true crime to video game reviews, movie and television reviews, and everything in between. I'm a sucker for entertainment. I love movies. I love television. I love video games. I'm a big dork at heart. So most likely I'm not going to talk about politics because I'm not a huge fan of talking about it or honestly hearing about politics. I just feel like it's a shitty road to go down and everybody just likes to argue about it and nobody really can just agree on one thing, you know what I mean? But I do realize that some politics are essential. So if I'm doing a podcast that has to involve politics to go along with the story or the topic, then I will include politics. But just to let you know, I don't really know a lot about politics. So I would require a lot of research on my end, at least. But the main point of this podcast is to entertain. I want to feel vulnerable myself too. Like I'm going to talk about things that make me feel vulnerable because I feel like it helps with this process I'm going through right now in life. But yeah, entertainment is the key word for me. Like I want to entertain you guys. I want you to laugh at me or with me. I want this pod to be an outlet for people going through some shit because as we all know, everybody pretty much goes through shit in their life. You know, we all have to walk through shit to get to the gold. So anyways, so first off, I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Joseph. I'm 39 years old, and I'm a super proud father of 3. I've mastered the art of shape-shifting my body from skinny to fat to skinny to fat, and now I'm on the edge of being fit again. I call this diet the stress diet because I'm currently just nothing tastes good to me. I'm eating just to eat, just to stay alive. Yeah, at this point. I know I'm laughing. It's not really a joke, but yeah, so right now I'm just stressed out. I don't feel like eating. Usually I love food in general and I'll pretty much eat anything. And I just love the taste of food, but that's gone away the past couple months for me. But stress just happens. And as they say, a panic attack a day keeps the doctor in play. So whatever. Anyways, so I'm just going to quickly go through my life here. I lived in Pennsylvania in my first 36 years. I know, the boring old state of Pennsylvania. So my family of 5 decided to pack up and move down to our favorite vacation spot, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So the past 3 years we have lived down here in Myrtle. The move was fun, but it was also hard, just like every move is. It was stressful from the start, but my kids love it down here. My ex-wife loves it down here. The hardest part for me was I had to leave my family behind in Pennsylvania in hopes they would move down here eventually. So I'm still waiting on that. Obviously, they got their priorities in Pennsylvania. So one day that'll happen, I hope. So when I mentioned about going through some shit earlier, it was basically the move down here. It ended up turning into the imminent collapse of my marriage after 2 years of trying to start a new life down here in the South. But there's many reasons why my marriage went down Schitt's Creek with broken paddles. I look back on this time now and I realize what I messed up. I wasn't contributing like I should have. I constantly felt like I was lost. I felt trapped in a fog. I stopped paying attention to my wife of over 10 years and I felt depressed. But I didn't realize how my depression was affecting everyone around me. I never took that into account, that my wife may be sad too. And today I beat myself up over this. I haven't always been the type to own up my shit, but this whole pitfall has made me realize that if you don't recognize past mistakes, then you can never change for the better. Too many men are hard-headed. They think they can't be real. They think that if they admit their fuckery, that they'll somehow lose their man card. But I don't agree with that. Like, you should admit what you did wrong. That's the only way to grow from it. And we as men, we really need to receive the gift of a nice, swift kick to the dick to wake us up. I mean, honestly, that's the most brutal way to say it, but it's the truth. So yeah, I finally made myself aware of my flaws, and I don't like them. You know, I'm going to apologize ahead for my rambling. This is just how my brain works. And to be fair, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I feel like I've always had a slight ting of it. So I'm going to continue on here. But so about 6 months ago, I started reading a book called Lou Hunter's Screenwriting 434. As I said earlier, I always loved film and television, so I decided I wanted to write my own script. I had a couple good script ideas that I jotted down over time. So I'm working on that as I go. I've kind of pulled away from that to focus on working more hours at my job, putting together this podcast, but I'm going to get back to it eventually. But one thing I really want to tell you guys is pick up something new. You know what I mean? Start something new, learn something new. It really helps with a lot of things. If you challenge yourself, I feel like it's a good thing. You could fail. Everybody at some point fails or feels like they're failing. But picking up something new and just trying to run with it, I feel like is great for the mind, body, and soul. So challenge yourself. Accept the challenge and try it. I am proud. I haven't gone super far with my script, but I at least made it past the first part of it. So I'm about 36 pages in. I want to finish around 105 to 110 pages for my script. And like I said, I'm going to keep working on it as much as I could. All right, so back to the story of moving to and living in Myrtle Beach. If you haven't been to Myrtle, I'm going to give you a brief rundown right now. So the air always smells like weed. The spiders and cockroaches are fucking enormous. Like, they're straight out of the Fallout universe. We're also the home of the Nazi mosquitoes who feed on the blood of the innocent. So yeah, these mosquitoes down here are brutal. Like, they will suck all the blood out of you. They don't seem to die. It seems like the bug spray makes it worse. Like, it attracts them more than anything. Oh yeah, and then we got these like young kids that drive around and they reverse lift their trucks. So when they're driving, all they can see is the sky. It's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen. I didn't see any of that in the north. I guess it's just a southern thing. Yeah, I mean, also the summer is brutal. Like, you will literally feel like a melting popsicle down here. The AC doesn't even seem to make a difference at all. Like, you're just gonna feel like you're melting, basically. There's also this weird music called trap music, and I didn't discover it until I came down here, and it's just like, I'm not a fan. Let me be clear, like, I'd rather listen to NPR radio over trap music. And I sincerely apologize to the great artists known as, like, Lil Buttery Pierogi or Lil Cranky Newborn Baby Boy. Like, I know they're great artists, but I just can't dig the music. It's not my type. And there's lots of country music, and I'm not even going to waste my voice box explaining my feelings on country music. If you know me, you know my feelings on it. I'm not a fan at all. But I do love music, just not those two types of music. Oh, and the highways here have fucking shopping outlets and restaurants. As if the traffic wasn't enough, let's add some stoplights all over the highways. Yeah, so that's the South, mainly South Carolina. I can't speak for Florida, but South Carolina has all those fun things. All right, so enough of the bad stuff about Myrtle Beach. There's also a lot of good. Like, the people here are super nice. Like, they aren't ignorant little shits like we are up north. There's a certain camaraderie down here that can be felt. The weather is beautiful for every season but summer. That's just my opinion. I just don't like how hot it gets. I've never liked super hot weather. I don't like sweating for no reason. It's just uncomfortable to me. But the fall's beautiful here. The spring's beautiful. The winter, you don't have to worry about snow. Yeah. But yeah. So I'm going to talk about my kids. If you don't like kids, you can just stop listening, honestly. Either way, no biggie. I get kids aren't for everyone, but I happen to enjoy talking about mine. My kids are my life. I have a soon-to-be 6-year-old son who can honestly, he could pass as a 30-year-old with the way he acts, the way he talks. Like, he's just super intelligent. The things he tells me and my ex-wife are completely random and hysterical. Like, I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, he informed me after school that a girl had a crush on him. And then he said she asked him for a kiss and a hug and said she wanted to marry him. Sorry, my voice is cutting out here. She immediately, he said she immediately broke up with him and dumped him for another boy within like a minute. So I thought that story was hysterical. I also have an 8-year-old daughter. She's obsessed with Taylor Swift, and she wants to be a pop singer herself. She's honestly the most sincere and sweet girl in the whole galaxy. Like, her imagination is so refreshing. She'll set up these fake concerts in her room where she's singing her own songs that she just makes up on the fly. It's really amazing. Like, it's so adorable. Yeah, so she'll perform for the family in front of everybody, and she's not afraid to perform. So I think one day she's actually going to be a pop star, honestly. Then I got my oldest. He's 11 years old. He already acts like a teen. I mean, I love him more than the world. He's just very hard-headed when it comes to school. And, like, he refuses to try. As much as we tell him over and over, you have to try, you have to try. If you don't try, you could be the smartest kid in the world and it won't matter. But he is super smart, so we know that's not the issue. We know he's capable of A's. And it just looks bad for me and my ex because he's not even trying, even though we tell him to, but we can't hold his hand. He's in 6th grade. He just has to do his part, but we have a good feeling it's going to change. And I try to tell him, like, when we were in school, we had to take notes all day, especially in 6th grade. And he just gets notes handed to him where all he has to do is highlight the important notes. That's it. He studies it. Most of the work is done in school. He hardly has homework. Yeah, so if anybody that's listening can write a comment in the comments with some helpful advice for turning your kid around in school and getting him to start doing his work, I mean, write them down below. It would be helpful, and that would be wonderful, and I appreciate it. All right, so we made it to the end. This podcast is going to be shorter than most of my release podcasts that will be coming out. I'm hoping to do a podcast a week on a certain subject, and bi-weekly I want to release either a movie review, a television show review, a miniseries review, or a video game review. So I hope all of you stayed, and I didn't bore the living shit out of you. If you stayed, thank you, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. You could follow me on Podbean by just searching the PITA JOE Podcast. All right, so until next time, I wish everyone the best of days, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.